Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's live. I'm just giggling right now because if you are in the theater in game, you will see there is a new style of the little energy redemption in the theater. So go check it out. I'm so excited. I've wanted this for so long and it's finally happened. So there's a portal in Terravilla Central. I'm going to bring up Luke because is this the first time you're seeing this?
Yeah, this is literally the first time I'm seeing it. I know you said that you wanted something like this. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just funny. I love it.
Why am I not there? Oh, maybe you're in World 2.
Oh, maybe,
Yeah, I
maybe.
don't know. It's been busy. It was like the reason the energy was like 3 minutes, 4 minutes delayed was because I couldn't get back into World 1. I was like, oh no, I need to get there because just
Right.
of how our system works, I have to be in World 1 to put it there. But anyways,
Are there
yes.
even more people in World 1? I need to go in there really quick.
Yeah, if you can get in. It's been busy. It's been like lagging a little bit, which obviously sorry about. But yeah. Yeah, actually, you know what? Let's just address that right off the bat. So, obviously, with like our big partnership announcement and like big like other spec, like we've been like going really hard. It's been really fun. There's been so much talk about pixels. You guys have been amazing. It's been so much fun. That comes with a lot of new players, and we've been hosting tons of energy events. And if you went to the energy event on Sunday and on Monday, you might have noticed we experienced some server issues due to the mass amounts of people coming to one map at a time. Obviously, this is an excellent problem to have, but it can be a little frustrating. So we worked really hard on Monday to try and figure out a solve for this. I'm not going to say it's perfect because in the future, if like 600 people try to join a map, the same things might happen. But for now, we have figured out a fix so that, yesterday's event went perfectly smoothly and today's event in the theater is going smoothly. And you can just tell, if you guys have been around for a while, you might have noticed that the hearts usually pop out of people's heads. So instead of that, now it just kind of spawns everywhere like the popcorn now does. And that just relieves a bit of load on our servers. So don't ask me how. That is our developers world, and he killed it. He nailed it, and he did it so quickly. So shout out to Gar. He's amazing. But yeah, so I'm really glad that we can all now have popcorn flying everywhere. Yeah, so with
Yes.
this change, I was also able to be like, hey, can we also, while you're at it, can we just add this art? So yeah.
No, super excited. And yeah, it's been really awesome to see how many people have been showing up to these events. We've literally thrown like 4 events with 300 plus people in them concurrently this last week,
2 days in
which
a row. There have
yeah,
been like 350 people. Yeah.
yeah, so we'll write a tweet thread about that soon, pump that up because that is actually something that's very unique in Web3 right now. There is no other game that's getting this many people playing at the same time in Web3. So yeah, props to all of you for showing up to these events. It's been super exciting, super fun. And yeah, we're going to continue to make this tech even better, to support this better in the future as well. So yeah, it's obviously one of those things we're noticing and seeing. And it's one of those features that we probably want to lean into more. Um, a lot of people in this chat don't understand English and you speak very fast. You're right. I will enunciate better. One thing about me is my accent is pretty messed up after living in a bunch of places for a very long time. So if you don't understand me well, don't feel bad. Some people in the US can't either. um,
Yes.
but
We do have a lot of new Spanish speaking people coming into the community. So, hola, welcome. I'm currently learning Spanish, but it is terrible. So I will not speak anymore. And speaking of accents, Luke and I were in Mexico together, and his Spanish accent is atrocious. So he will also not be speaking his Spanish. But anyways, welcome. We're so happy to have you here, and we'll try to talk slower. Luke and I we get really excited and we start speaking really fast. But I'll make an effort. I'll make an
yeah.
effort.
So on the agenda today, there's a few things I want to go over, and Heidi has some things that she wants to talk about today as well too. So I guess just to give you a high level is what I want to start to talk about is basically next steps for Pixels, what we're thinking in terms of roadmap, and we've kind of let you know. We've been having a conversation with all of you for the last 8, 9, or like 3, 4 months of like what we kind of view the next steps to be. But there's a few new things that we've been thinking about as well that we might want to start to experiment with. And there's a new feature that we're going to start working on too, which is going to be pretty exciting. So I want to kind of start to hint towards that and kind of let you guys know what we're working on in terms of that side of things. And then, yeah, I also want to give an update on Ronin migration, when you can expect that to be ready, what that's going to look like. And then, yeah, also I want to kind of give an update on the pixel token and what we're thinking about with that as well too. So then Heidi also had a few things that she wanted to go over.
Yeah. Is that my cue? All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So today is the last final day that you can I just combined words and it said murder. Oh my gosh, that you can order Pixels merch. That's really funny. All right. Yes, today is the final day to order official Pixels merch. If you were around last week, you already know everything. I literally created like a whole slideshow and went through why we're doing it, how we're doing it, everything you can expect, all of the things. So if you weren't around, I highly recommend you go to our YouTube channel and watch about like the first 10-15 minutes of last week's live stream where I talked thoroughly about merch. Our merch is just 2 different hoodies. They are black. They're really thick. They're the comfiest, highest quality hoodie I've ever owned. They say Pixels on the front. We've got the Pixels logo in black and white, and then in our yellow and purple. Today is the final day to order it. And if you don't order today, that's it. Unfortunately, they are going to take quite a long time to get to you because of the format that we've chosen, this kind of pre-order format. So it will take several weeks for them to be manufactured and then shipped out. But I'm so excited to finally get these in the hands of our community and even our team members. Honestly, I'm the only one on the team that has one because we've been trying to keep the costs so down that we haven't been sending them out to everyone yet. So anyways, I'm so excited for this. I'm trying really hard to talk slowly right now and it is difficult, but I am, yeah. So anyways, final day to order merch. More information, last week's AMA, and of course on our Discord server, which I highly recommend you join if you have not yet. What else is there? There is a energy party today after the AMA on land 2499. It's Vanquish Plots land. So get ready for that. And yeah, I got a little list here. There's merch, there's the energy party, and of course I wanted to address how we have changed the approach of how we're distributing energy so that hopefully our servers don't have some issues when we have a lot of people in the same lands. And then finally, you guys asked for it last week, and we brought it back. The Ronin for Ronin quest, which is a tongue twister, is back. So it's a little different in that the chains that you craft now are purple instead of blue because there are some people that care about those things, but we don't need to dive into that. Anyways, so you can go and craft. There are 100 Ronin blocks placed around Terravilla Central, in and out of the buildings. You can go and collect all of those, and then you can head to the MOI, the Ministry of Innovation, to craft purple Ronin chains that you can then sell in the bank for berry. There are 10 extra blocks hidden in a building that only VIP can access. So that's a little tidbit, a little leak, little tea on that if you haven't discovered it yet. Yeah, that's my little spiel for the day.
Amazing. So yeah, I just want to give you guys a few other updates and kind of dive into some of these things now before we go into the next steps and like just answer some questions that you guys might have. So yeah, in terms of Ronin migration timelines, what we're looking at now is we're looking to move to the Ronin chain and like fully complete, or not fully complete, but like start the first part of the migration by mid-October. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks. Basically, what that will mean is we're going to add Ronin login to the game. We're going to ask you to connect a Ronin wallet as well. We're not going to force at first all users who have a MetaMask account connected to the game to add their own wallet, but eventually we will. And if you want to interact with any of the Web3 elements of the game, like withdraw, deposit, anything like that, you're going to need to create a new Ronin wallet and connect it to your account. So that's how that process will work. Essentially, if you already connected the game with a MetaMask right now, you will be able to add on a second wallet to the account. That's a Ronin wallet. Or if you wanted to, we don't want to force this. We actually probably don't prefer this, but you can actually import your seed phrase in the Ronin and use the same address if you want, or the same seed phrase. But how our system will work is basically you'll just be able to connect and create a fresh new Ronin wallet. You don't need to touch any seed phrase, anything like that, and connect it into the game. And then with that, what we'll also introduce is Barry on Ronin Network, and then we'll start this next fun activation that we have around pets. So we've been holding this off for a while, but that means pets are actually just around the corner. So if you guys haven't been following, we have this whole new game mechanic built around pets that will be coming into the game very shortly. We've been teasing it a bit. We've been showing you guys some of it, but soon pets will actually be on chain, and the only way to get these pets will be through this new in-game activation that we have coming out called the Carnival. And I wasn't planning on showing it, but maybe I
Oh,
just come into the Carnival really quickly and show
oh
the.
no, Leaky Luke is back.
I think it's worth doing because we haven't shown you guys this in a while, and there's a bunch of new people who haven't seen this. So yeah, if you guys haven't been following, or if you're new, we have something really, really big ready, and we've been saving it until we get onto the Ronin network. This has been ready for like a month or two now, and our users who already are playing the game have been desperately waiting for this. But
I'm so excited.
okay, yeah, so we haven't shown too much of this either yet. Here, I'm going to stop this screen share and share with you our other environment. So what we have ready is this whole new game mechanic built around pets. This that you see following my subway rat right now, maybe I'll switch to a different avatar just so you can kind of see. This is a very ugly avatar. Not that bald is ugly, but uh, yeah. So if you see, this is a pet. This is actually going to be an NFT that we release on the Ronin chain. And the only way that you're going to be able to earn these pets is by playing in this new in-game activation that we have around this carnival. And I'm showing you a bit more than we've shown before. But the high-level premise is that you'll have to participate in a bunch of these mini games that we have prepared. You'll earn these tickets, and these tickets will give you the chance of earning these pets. There's only going to be 100 of these initial pets minted, and this will be like a Genesis pet. So these pet NFTs that we have planned, they're going to be a bit different than normal NFTs, where the plan is we actually want to do monthly open editions of new pets. And we're going to be doing different traits every single month, or like different types of pets. So if you see, just walking around here, there's like a few different types of pets. Like there's ones that look like sheep. There's ones that kind of look like pigs. There's like a bit more to them, and they're kind of cool in how they're generated. A very rare unicorn pet here. But yeah, we're going to introduce one exclusive type of pet for this promotion. There will only be 100, and the only way that you can earn them is by playing in this in-game carnival. We're going to be running this carnival for like 4 to 6 weeks. Essentially, there will be 3 new pets minted on the Ronin chain every single day. And then this type of pet, and it's going to be like a whole unique type of pet, like a unicorn type or a bird type or a pig type. That's the only time that pet will ever be minted. And yeah, if you guys play Axie, you know there's like different types of Axies. All of our pets are gonna look pretty unique and different. In stark contrast to like what the Axie pets look like. But then yeah, we actually have a bunch of cool gameplay built around these pets as well too. These pets actually have some in-game utility in the Pixels game right now too. The other interesting thing too is these pets actually follow you across all worlds, which is an interesting new concept that we're going to start to dig into more. So if I come to other spec, my pet follows me around in other spec. Even though I have a different inventory in other spec, I still have my pet in other spec, and it still follows me around. Same thing with other realms like New Cyber. So if I go to New Cyber, a different realm that we created, my pet still works in New Cyber. And this realms feature is actually one that we're going to be delving into a lot more. So here, if I go back to pixels, I go back to the carnival map, that's basically the next big feature that we're working on besides pets. So pets we're super excited about. They're going to be coming into the game in just like 2 to 3 weeks. We'll confirm that date quite soon. But basically, the reason that we had been holding these off was to get them on the Ronin chain, so there wouldn't have to be any bridge from Polygon to Ronin. They're going to be freshly minted on the Ronin chain. So this is a big new feature that we're very excited about. We think these pets will be pretty sought after. When we've done events like this before and we've given out a very limited set of items, they traded pretty well on secondary marketplaces. We're working with the Ronin team right now and the Sky Mavis team to get these on the Mavis marketplace also. So yeah, expect some fun stuff with that. The idea is we want to mint them every single day on chain. So, there will start to be like one pet that's minted on chain. The first lucky person that you see like walk around with a pet, they're going to be going down in Pixels history. I'm sure you're going to you're going to remember that name. Who knows if they'll list it? Maybe they'll keep it and just flex it around. But yeah, they'll be minted on chain on their own in chain. People will be able to sell them on the marketplaces that they want, and they'll also be used in game on the very first day as well too. There's a little process that you have to go through with these pets. They don't start off as pets right away, and you'll get to see more of that game mechanics soon. But the pets are going to be a very interesting sync of the berry currencies. So we're pretty excited to see what they do. Basically, it's going to be a mixture in the long run of oh, that's funny. This was not planned. But yeah, these pets, they need to be taken care of. And
What
if you
you?
don't, yeah, if you don't feed them, if you don't give them water, they get pretty upset. So that's also part of the game loop too. There's a happiness game loop. You see my pet has a fat happiness thing. We keep tracks of streaks. We'll probably end up giving some rewards for streaks as well too. There's a game I really like called Sush that does that mechanic really well. But then that leads us into the next stages. So we've been working on pets. This is all ready to go. The next big product feature at Pixels that we're working on is going to be this new feature called Realms. And we're really excited to introduce that. But basically, what we're planning on doing is we're planning on creating or giving you guys access to more of the in-game tools that we have available. So if you guys look at our game right now, every single thing that we've done in our game has been built with a set of no-code tooling that we've developed. The reason that we're able to iterate and build so quickly is because we have this suite of really good tooling that allows us to create new maps, create new items, objects, things like that, without any developer having to touch stuff. If I show you this right now, look at this. This is how our team builds out maps. We don't have to go into any other tool. We don't have to use any other program. If we want to make something or change a map, we literally just press two buttons and we're in this right away and we get access to this whole map editor. It's quite powerful. We can build out basically anything that we want that you see in the game. And this is actually the tool that we're going to start to release towards all of our users. So that's going to be under this new feature called Realms. And we're very excited about that. The plan is to give early access to landowners this feature and give them primary use of this at the very beginning. But then this might be a feature where if we see good usage, we'll expand upon it further. But basically what that means is you'll be able to create your own map without any constraints. You'll be able to create your own objects, just like you do with UGC, your own tile sets, anything like that. You're gonna be able to make things that look a lot different than the Pixels game and create a whole world that feels just like your own. So that's the next big product push that we're working on, and very, very excited about that. And then last update.
That was a major leak. I just want to say that was huge. Like, this is stuff that we're actively talking about internally, like every day. So like we're building in public. Just a reminder, like we're sharing with you guys like the raw innards of like what our team discussions are about. And it's awesome.
Exactly. So yeah, some of these things too. No, we do build in public and we iterate and experiment a lot. Like this might be a feature that we release and then it's like, okay, this isn't working like quite the way that we want. This might not be hitting like the exact way that we want to. So always expect some of that stuff. Like we're a very iterative and experimental team, but I think it's best just to be releasing things very often, trying things out. and being like very aggressive with how we build. So this is the kind of stuff that we want to be, showing you guys, because one, it gives us a good measurement of like feedback and interest too. If we showed you guys this and you guys were like, I don't want this, this is a stupid feature, or you guys are like not really showing excitement, yeah, maybe we would just can it. Sometimes it's funny. One of the best lessons I learned when I was building out my previous product was I spent 4 weeks coding a new feature. I was like convinced that our product wasn't working for this one reason. I spent 4 weeks coding a whole new feature, and I went to demo it to this potential customer. And when I went to demo this feature to our customer, the demo didn't work. And I was like, crap, I don't know what to do. I just spent all this time to like build out this feature for this specific customer. And then I showed them a screenshot. And that screenshot was enough for them to be like, we're not really interested in that. And that was one of the most valuable lessons I learned, where it was like, wow, I didn't have to spend 4 weeks building this. I could have just shown people this or made a quick 5-minute sketch or mock-up of a screenshot. And that would have been enough to know that this was actually not an interesting route to go down. And same thing with this kind of stuff too, where it's like we come on these AMAs, we show you guys some examples of some stuff that we're moving towards and working on. And it's like, oh, if there's excitement, that's great. That means that is definitely something interesting to explore and continue down. Or if you're like, terrible idea, then it's like, oh, okay, now we just saved ourselves some time. Let's not go down this direction. So yeah, that's also partly why we do this. But yeah, this is a huge new feature that we're planning and working on. And yeah, if we were to roll this out, this is a crazy, terrible date estimation, but I would think like November is probably a reasonable time, October to November, to roll this kind of thing out. This is something that we're like early development of actually getting to the user facing side of things, but this is the tool that we use internally. And this is the next exciting thing that we want to launch and release. And then let's talk about the Pixel token. So Pixel token, this is the kind of stuff that we're building out that will be using the Pixel token. Pets, UGC, and different premium features. Like these are the utility and the core of the Pixel token, and these are the things that we need in order to actually get it out and have it go well. So there's been a few things we've been debating on with the Pixel token launch. It's like, okay, when do we want to launch it? What's going to make it have the most successful launch? And like, what are the different options that we have? What's really great about working with the Sky Mavis team and the like Axie Infinity team is they've been there, they've done that. They're already providing like very interesting insight onto that. So that's something I want to dig into more. Just kind of learning from their experience of actually launching, like, tokens that have done very well, also tokens that have gone through cycles as well. They've learned a ton of interesting lessons. So we'll start to dig into their advice as well too. And then obviously we have some great people in the corner when it comes to like Animoca, OpenSea Ventures, all of that too, who are, giving us great advice and advising. But yeah, the things that we're thinking about with that are, product, market cycles, and, listings, making sure we have the best possible combination of all these things to come together. So the product, it's looking like it's in a pretty good spot. I'm thinking, after we get a couple of these features out, we're going to feel pretty confident on our end that we have sufficient product out to burn token, and we have sufficiently planned ways to introduce the token into the ecosystem as well. When it comes to listings and all of that side of things, we're actively working on that, and we just want to make sure we have the best possible outcome for all of that kind of stuff. But then there's also other potentially interesting routes too that we're debating. So I don't want to go too into that kind of stuff, but that's just where our heads are at. And that's the kind of stuff that we're working on. So it is top priority in terms of the company stuff. And basically all the product and everything that we're thinking about is getting to that next stage. It's funny because, some people are really advising us to wait way, way longer. And I just still have a really strong opinion that we're ready for it. And that, I don't think you should be thinking about market cycles when you're thinking about launching products. Like I really do think that if you have product that's ready, then you should launch what's ready when it's ready. There's a whole bunch of different debate and like thought around this. But at the same time, that's what's going to get us to the next stages of what we want to be doing and experimenting with. I have a strong opinion that Web3 gaming is 2 stages. It's getting a good baseline game, and getting a good baseline game is an extremely hard thing to build and do. But then the next stage of incentivization, like Web3 network driven growth, network effects, building all of that out is equally as hard. And it's interesting because I'm talking to a lot of thought leaders in the space who I actually do respect when it comes to Web3 gaming. But I actually think there's been a complete underemphasis in that second stage of um, product development and strategy when it comes to Web3 gaming. Everybody's focusing on building a good game, and that's so important. But then the other half of this, the Web3 incentivization, the token distribution, all of those models, how to build out network effects, to user acquisition, that is such insanely hard tech to build out too, where it's like, okay, that is actually some stuff that we need to focus on, iterate on, and like move on to, because that's actually some secret sauce that I think we have a huge advantage at compared to any Web3 or any like AAA game that might be coming into Web3. It's like, yes, baseline game needs to be good, but all of this other stuff is so hard, and nobody has experience in this. There's no Web3 company besides honestly Axie Infinity that has been there and done this before. So again, another reason why I'm so bullish on being on the Ronin chain, because I really do feel like we're just working with the right people in order to hit that next stage and actually figure out that second half of the equation, which I just think is so understated right now. So yeah, that's just a bit about what we're up to and what we're thinking right now. And I think now might be a good time to go and start to dig into questions and see if there's any rabbit holes that we can kind of uncover.
All right. So if you guys have any questions, you have to go directly to the YouTube. The link is everywhere on our Discord and whatnot. So ask all of your questions in the live chat so we can bring them up. We're monitoring it constantly. So yeah, let's just get started. When new VIP Sauna? Okay, so this is like 95, I think, percent there. So I'm really hoping this will get to you guys in the next like week or two. Very, very, very excited for this. The only reason why it would take a little bit longer is it's actually coming along with a bunch of other changes. Like it can't come alone; it has to come with some other stuff, just some other changes to Terravilla. So we'll see. We'll see. Next few weeks. I'm really hoping.
Yeah, it might just go into like a different release cycle. So what ultimately might have to happen is we just have changes with all of these Ronin integrations that we're doing that this might need to launch with.
All right. Let's see. Okay, so this is back to pets. Will there only ever be 100 for a game that hopes to have hundreds of thousands of players? Head scratcher for me. Only 100 people or less. Okay, so no. Luke, do you want to just like run through quick structure again?
Yeah, so how we plan on doing pets is there won't be 100 total, but there will only be 100 of a certain type. So basically, what we want to do every single month is do a new mint of pets. We'll do open editions. And yeah, basically, we'll do a new type of trait or a new type of pet. So maybe one month you don't like the type of pet, you don't have to mint it. Maybe the next month you're like, wow, that's a really cool looking one. I'm gonna mint that one. But yeah, we really like the idea of open editions. That way, there's not so much pressure to mint out, and like no expectations around that either. But then there is the idea of like trait rarity after the open edition closes. So essentially, we'll be doing one mint a month of a certain type of pet. We'll open that mint for 24 hours. You'll be able to mint however many you want. There might be a max that we add, but we'll see if that's even something that we need. And then there will be trait rarity after that mint closes, essentially. So for this one, this trait will be limited to only 100. They'll be like labeled as Genesis pets too. So they'll have like a special thing in the metadata, making them Genesis, and they'll probably have boosted stats also. If you look, these pets all have stats. Yeah, we'll probably give the Genesis pets a bit better stats as well. So, and they'll also look very different. So I think we've let farmhands kind of give some feedback on which ones that they look like. But if you can see, there's a few that we have ready. We're not going to be minting all of these at once. There'll just be one type of these. And I think we have a couple fun ones that are ready. And then the other interesting thing too that we'll be introducing shortly after, this might be like a month after the pets release, is we want to introduce, it's not completely breeding, It's more like a combination mechanic. But what's really fun about these pets is the way that we built them out. All of the parts can be like mishmashed, and we really like the idea of you being able to combine two pets into one um, through some kind of like mutation process and mixing the traits. So that also creates a very interesting set of like increasing parity if people combine, rather than just leaving the pets there too, especially with the open edition concept.
Okay. More pets questions. So, will there be any interactions with the pet, like combat or something cool?
Yeah, so right now there's a happiness loop with them. And they also there's some utility when you're actually playing the Pixels game too. When you farm, they extend your reach a little bit. They are able to carry items. There's some dialogue. This is stuff that like if we see some interesting interaction with, then we'll start to like dig into these more. And then yeah, there's tiny in-game features like that that we can add, where we can give you benefits if you own a pet as well too. So if you have played um, the Pixels game for a bit, you'll notice that like there's things like land that gives you benefits. VIP gives you benefits. We kind of want to reward asset ownership in the ecosystem. So if you guys come to our dashboard, this is one thing that we haven't been utilizing enough, but we're going to start to do this a bit more. This rewards page, we want to start to give out more rewards for things like VIP owners only, for pet owners, things like that. And especially when we have the pixel token out, that's why we've built this dashboard specifically. This dashboard will be the only way to get the pixel token. So completing daily tasks through this. So it's things like landowners, VIP members, like we'll start to give more pixel to. Same thing with pets players.
Okay, just while you're here, good time to talk about this. Can you add daily rewards for new players? There are daily rewards. You don't have to be a new player. You just have to play. So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I do think we need to reset.
That doesn't need to be reset.
Yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, this is something that we haven't utilized enough. I think what I want to help, what I want to figure out with the team is how we can make this a bit more visible in the game. It's funny because we were actually introducing this concept of like daily quest, but this actually might be the best way to do it instead of doing it through an in-game mechanic. So yeah, we'll look into that. And yeah, I think this is where I want to kind of funnel people into a bit more.
Okay. We're getting so many good questions. This is awesome. Okay. Someone said, would love to play this on stream later. Any team members, I can ask a few questions. I'm a content creator. Okay. So if you're a content creator, you might already know this, but we have a form that you can fill out. Just hop on Discord and ask someone for it. It is linked in a recent minor announcement. If you're creating content regularly about pixels, I'm sorry, that is impactful to the community, of course, we want to work with you and reward you for that. So please fill out the form. And then we'll obviously go through your submission and we will send you free VIP and add you to a group chat on our Discord that connects you directly to our farmhands and community team, which are basically just like our pixels experts and advocates and support group and everything. So you can ask any questions you have directly to a team member, expert, and whatnot. All right. Okay. Back to pets and carnival. I know you kind of already mentioned this. Do you want to just quickly say again?
So we're shooting for mid-October. There are like a few pieces, like we want to make sure that we're on Mavis Marketplace for that. We want to make sure that we have all of those pieces together. So there's like just a little bit of risk with that, but we have smart contract ready, minting ready. Obviously, you see them in game, like everything's ready. Now it's just basically getting the last pieces together, making sure it's QA'd. So we just met with the team yesterday to kind of go over all these timelines. Sky Mavis team's been amazing to work with, and they're so supportive. So it's really on us to make sure that we have everything ready to like, hand off to them. But yeah, we're pretty sure on our end that we can have everything done by mid-October and ready to launch. So that means carnival and pets on Ronin, which will be super fun.
Okay, I'm sorry. Apparently, yeah, it's not available, so we'll look into that. Okay, let's see more questions. Do lands play a role in the pets loop?
Oh, yes, they do actually. I don't know if I want to leak that yet, but yeah, they do.
All right. And can pets die?
That's we were debating that. We landed on no. But yeah, they get very unhappy. So one thing that we had experimented with is like we want people to know if you haven't been taking care of your pet. um, like we want to make it like very visible. But yeah, that I don't know if you guys really think that's an interesting feature. Let us know. Maybe we add that.
Okay. Let's see. What is the ultimate goal of the pets game loop? How does spending time with your pet benefit you in the game?
Yeah, so the ultimate goal is we want to start to introduce more elements of gameplay. Like it's essentially a secondary game loop that complements this primary game loop of farming. We want to start to give you more reasons of why am I farming all of these crops? Why am I doing this? And these pets are a pretty interesting starting point where it's like there's potentially a lot more that we can be doing with them if we see interest and we see like strong, desire for these pets or good interaction with the pets. But the primary thing is like, okay, this is actually a pretty good reason to give you to like start farming resources for. It's like I get this pet. This pet can do things. We've been wanting to experiment with like some element of I don't want to say combat, but at least competition with them. So we have some stuff planned with that, like probably like a racing mini game as like a very low fidelity way to start to test this kind of stuff early on. But yeah, right when they release, basically what you see here is what they're going to release with. There's some stats that they have. They have some storage in the game so they can hold some stuff. They'll be able to make your farming experience a bit better. You get better reach. And I think there might be another thing or two with it as well. So we can dig into that and like let you guys. We'll share some more information on what these actually do. But yeah, the idea is number one, this is an NFT that we're launching and day one utility. Like let's just make that clear. Most NFTs launch, you can't use them for years, if you ever can use them. So note NFT day one utility follows you in the game right now. It's something we can continue to build on and make better as well too. So just keep that in mind.
Great. We got some good feedback, ideas, and whatnot. So maybe a sad emoji over the pet's head. I think we already have that, or did they change it?
There's a like hungry emoji.
Yeah, there's something that pops up. But yeah, it could be interesting.
Sad.
For a while, they were just kind of translucent, so they just kind of faded. I liked that. I think there was a reason we aren't doing that. But anyways, it was funny. It was really funny. Anyways, we'll see. Yeah, if you guys give any more ideas, let us know. Um, I think pets shouldn't die, but they should feel down and never get up until the owner feeds them food and they can't be listed. It's a good one, right? It's kind of like in Neopets. I never fed my pets in Neopets because I never used them for battle. So you could like get away with it. But maybe
That's hilarious because I had no idea that you could get away with not feeding pets and Neopets. I just assumed they
really,
would die, and me as a child was like on it. I was loyal to that.
I don't. I think I fed them one time. I tried to battle like once and I fed them once. And I was like, this is a waste of my what was it called? Neo points or something?
So
Neo points? Yeah. So I was like, not gonna do this. Okay, and this one's funny. Go to Pixel's jail for neglecting your pets, and it costs you energy. That's funny. Do
I
we
hate
want that
that.
narrative? I don't know, but it's
Yes.
funny. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Heidi was a bad Neopet owner. Yeah, okay, maybe. Okay, let's see here. More questions. Okay. Will the move to Ronin detach your wallet from your current MetaMask?
Nope, nope. So you'll be able to have two wallets connected to your account. You'll have your Ronin wallet and your MetaMask wallet connected. So yeah, you'll still be able to access all of your ETH NFTs and use them in the game, even if you have a Ronin wallet connected. And then also, if you start and create a new account with a Ronin wallet, you'll be able to add a secondary MetaMask if you want. So basically, in the long run, what it's going to look like is everybody will have a Ronin wallet that connects the wallet to the game, and then some people will have MetaMask also if they choose to interact with the ETH NFTs in their wallets as well.
Okay, and can you speak about lands in Ronin? Wouldn't be comfortable moving my lands from ETH.
Yeah, so one thing that we definitely have planned with the realms is like basically any new NFT that we launch will be launched on Ronin, is what I'll say. So there's some interesting stuff that we can do with that.
Okay. In the near future, do you see the implementation of pixels fishing?
Yeah, it's funny. I hated it at first, but it actually might be an interesting feature. We already kind of have the game mechanics to be able to do that right now, um, and the stuff in engine to do that right now. So it's like, people really want it. I guess maybe we should just do it. I don't think it would be a crazy lift on our end.
All right, similar question, as in we get asked these questions often. Is
Yeah.
PvP being
So
thought about?
PvP is interesting. It's actually it's funny. I am less excited about PvP now that we're on Ronin, where it's like Axie's already a pretty good PvP game. Where it's like I would be more interested in seeing like integrations that we can do and like matchmaking or something like that with Axie, or if there was like some kind of thing that we could do there. But then also like PvP, like to be completely transparent, like PvP in terms of like player against player in engine like this, probably not realistically going to happen soon, but there's other ways that we can do competition. So we've been floating around like a racing mini game, for example, with these pets. Like we have some stuff mocked up. Probably wouldn't be a crazy lift on our end. But yeah, the pets are kind of like where we want to start to um, do that base of PvP and competition with it. And that's why these pets have stats associated with them. And if you guys haven't been collecting potions, these potions will also play a role in the stats of pets as well too. So yeah, that's what we've been working on with these pets and like why we are introducing pets. We think that's probably the long term that we want to go when it comes to competition. But it's like also we do combat. We probably won't do like a trading card game style of combat because Axie has that kind of covered, or there's Parallel out there. There's like a lot of games that have that. We probably want to do our own take and spin and focus on something a bit more unique to what we're capable of building.
Okay, are you planning to improve user experience? I'm helping a new user from Ronin. There is no mission to make it understand how energy works, only if someone explains it. So, yes, our onboarding right now, we fully acknowledge needs some work and has been worked on a lot behind the scenes, and improvements are coming. You've probably seen we've already made a few changes to Terravilla, and everything we're doing is really for, okay, new player comes into the game, what's important to them to see immediately? What should be in on their screen when they're standing in the middle of Terravilla or when they're completing this new quest? And then, okay, what are the secondary features that they should be more knowledgeable about, right? So like, for instance, we keep talking about how the sauna and the VIP energy regen system is going to change and there's updates coming soon. That is now actually going to move to Terravilla Central because that is something that is essential to the game and we want players to be using it. Right now, the sauna is so far away. New players don't know about it unless others tell them, right? So that doesn't really make a lot of sense. So our onboarding is being worked on and will be updated soon. And I really appreciate you guys helping new users. I just want to put that out there. It's so wonderful seeing all of the help and like community building that you guys do. So thank you so much. Okay. This was from like earlier when you were talking about realms and like all of that. So can I create my own game on your engine? And if yes, can I add a new mechanic or can I only use yours?
So the first thing that we're adding is just this realm builder. So you're going to be able to create new environments with your own art, things like that. So you'll get access to this tool, and we can build on top of that, right? So if you come into other spec, you can see, and with the carnival too, you're going to get to see a bit of what we're up to and like able to create with this engine and tooling. But this other spec mini game was created in our engine. Like there's some interesting things you can do with our game engine, and what we want to see is like what you guys are able to do in the long run too. So this set of tooling is going to be released in stages, right? It won't be released all at once. We're going to start with these realms. They're going to be basic at first, but then hopefully the plan is like start to introduce more and more functionality. Lets you guys customize, lets you guys build things that we would have never have even thought to build ourselves. So gradual rollout, essentially. But yeah, that's kind of the end goal.
Okay. Sorry, we're getting lots of good questions. Okay. Someone was asking, okay, this is really interesting to me. So, any plans to expand Terravilla with more buildings? And then where did I see the second question that related to this one? Will the game map ever expand? So, we've actually been thinking that Terravilla is way too big, and we're actually planning to make it smaller. The previous question asked about adding more buildings, so there might be more buildings here and there. That's like fully utility purpose for utility purposes that more buildings would be added. But as for the size of the map, we actually think it's just like really overwhelming, really big, and there's a lot of wasted space in different areas, different like quadrants of the outskirts, as we call it. So let me know what you guys think about this. Because yeah, the plan is to make it a little bit smaller, so it's just a little bit less intimidating and useful, more useful. Okay, good question, Luke. What's the rundown of the company? How long have you been building?
I mean, yeah, what's interesting is I've been in the startup space for like 3.5, almost 4 years now, which is kind of nuts. That is actually insane to think about. Just almost 4 years now. Um, and yeah, Pixels wasn't a Web3 company this entire time, but it's actually been the same legal entity for a while. Um, Pixels, I started back in like February 2020. So yeah, we're getting close to 4 years, and it was just me for a while, and then it grew to be a bit bigger. Essentially, we were building something similar but very different at the same time when we first started. The company used to be a virtual spaces company. It was called. Let me see if I can still find the company or if there's
The
anything.
video is still there.
Yeah, the URL is still there. It changed names a bunch, but it used to be called Mesh. And basically, what we did was we had this interesting technology that
Mesh.
came out around spatial video chat. So basically, it was this cool technology where you could walk inside of a virtual world, and if you got close to people, it would start video chats. If you walked away, it would start video chats with other people. It's funny because we actually had this as an initial feature in the Pixels game. And people hated it at first because it was like a different era of Web3 where people wanted to be very anonymous. They didn't want anything on there. But if this is something you guys are interested in, I've been thinking, oh, maybe this is something that we should probably reintroduce. But the interesting thing was this business that we had. There was like 4 of us, 5 of us for like a year and a half. We had been selling this technology to enterprise companies, and it was going okay. We sold to companies like Apple, Uber, Rippling, Twitter. Some big companies were using the product, but we never had any sticky usage. So the core problem with Mesh was that we would sell events to people, and we never saw them use them consistently. Like they would use them for one event and then come back like 3 months later. And the best use case scenario that we saw was that people would use these virtual spaces that we gave them for about once a week for an hour. That was the best case scenario. And that was basically when they were doing weekly meetups. So what we learned is we needed to start to introduce much stickier features. And that's when we pivoted into gaming. And that's when we also started to introduce Web3 components as well too. So that's kind of like the journey. And then yeah, we've gone through some waves already. But yeah, we've been building steadily in this type of game for 2 years now. Yeah, I think Pixel's birthday is in just a week or two, I think.
Yeah. I just love seeing the old in that video. That's like what all of our avatars used to look like, and my Discord picture is still the avatar that I was using at the time. So if you ever see my avatar on Discord and you're like, what is that? Yeah, it's the OG, the really, really old Pixels avatars. Okay, you guys been giving us lots of good feedback here. I did just want to say, I think making us walk a little faster, good idea. Yeah, so you can actually buy running shoes in Barney's Bazaar, which is in Terravilla North, which if you're in game right now, it's right next to the theater. I'm not gonna lie, they are expensive, but you can walk. I think they make you walk 10% faster. Okay. Let's see other questions. So we got 6 more minutes until the energy party on Vanquish Plots Land. Is it 2? What was it? 2? There's a 5 and a 9. There. Okay. We'll get the number. Here we go. There was no 5. Okay, party at land 2499 in 6 minutes. Okay, so get ready for that. I will put a portal directly to the land in the theater, so you can go directly from the theater to the land. We will continue to ask your questions, so keep throwing them in the live chat here. Okay. Quest lines or guides specifically for new players. So yeah, there is actually a quest line, specifically an onboarding quest line for new players. It just needs work. And it's really funny because when we first implemented this onboarding quest line, it was like revolutionary. It was so good because in comparison to what we had previously, it was just amazing. But we've grown so much since then that now it's not good enough. And we fully agree with you on that. So we are working on it. Okay. Let's go back to some earlier questions. Let's see. Can the dashboard be integrated in-game with an in-game window?
Yeah, for the rewards one, that's what I'm thinking. The exchange page and all of that cannot be, but this one actually probably could be. So that might be something I was actually literally gonna talk to the team about this in the next like day or two. I'm probably bringing this up to their meeting tomorrow. I'm just like, I think this should probably be like more tightly integrated into the game and a bit more obvious. So yeah, we'll look into that one.
Okay. Do you want to just give like a really quick rundown for like newcomers about why we're moving from Polygon to Ronin?
Yeah, I mean, if you've been around the game for a while, I think now our users understand. I'm pretty sure, like why this is so interesting, especially after the last 2 weeks of just seeing all these new Ronin players, what the Ronin community is like too, and then just working with the Ronin team. Like all three of these things together have been so validating. Like there is literally no part of my mind that makes me think that this was a bad choice or anything like that. It's just been so validating to understand, wow, we are like in the right place. This is the right people to be working with. I think the Sky Mavis team is like full of really good people too. That's another interesting thing where it's like sometimes you meet some people and you're just like, wow, these are actually people that have high integrity. These are people that I would love to be working with. And the Sky Mavis team is definitely that type of team. Just a very high integrity, like very passionate team. So like there's all the pieces here to build out something very interesting. We feel super lucky to be working with them. And we feel super lucky to be on their own in chain. Yeah, the reason why is lots of players that are already on Ronin that are Web3 gamers. No other chain has that. All these chains like to claim about all these games that they have on them, but there's no users. There's literally none. And then when you start to dig into real users, it's even lower. But like some of these chains don't have any monthly active wallets. Without us on Polygon, there's probably very, very few real active Web3 gamers on Polygon. Most of these games are 80 to 90, maybe even 95% plus bots, some potentially even more. So real users is super important to us. Working with a team who has high integrity, who believes in what we're doing in the same way that we believe in what they're doing was super important. And then the support from the ecosystem as well. So yeah, just all three of these things together have combined to like form a really good partnership. And it's been going really well so far.
All right, I'm just setting up portals. We got 2 more minutes until the party on that land. Okay, let's see.
What do you guys think about factions? I would actually say this is like one other area of the game that I really want to explore a bit more. If you guys have any ideas around this, I really think there's a friend tech like element of the game that we can introduce. I don't quite know what that looks like still. But if you guys have some thought out ideas, like this is something I'm very, very interested in exploring more. Like it's like if KG gets 300 people to come to an event and he has 5 to 6 people being his bodyguards, that's pretty crazy. There's something there, especially when you think about like friend tech like mechanics. Like, how can we reward that or create like interesting gameplay around that creates like metagame mechanics around that? That's a very, very interesting train of thought that I want to go deeper into.
Okay. All right. What other questions do you want to address, Luke?
Oh, there's so many.
I know. They're so good. This has been amazing.
Okay, yeah. Leak on this one. VIP sauna will have a one-click energy regen mechanic in the future. So I know this is
Big
a
leap.
happy medium between that. Yeah, pretty excited about that. And I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Zambina is very concerned about my pet. Um, yes, I will feed it. I don't want to go to Pixel's jail. Will there be more skills in some point? I think yes, but I think what we actually want to focus on before we introduce a new skill is vertical progression through the skills a bit better. So things like adding like maybe another mine that's better, some other things like that. So I think we have some work to do in the current skills that we have first before we move on. Galactic grills have not become useless. If you guys followed us for the Tastemakers event that we did in April, we gave out these interesting grills. Original thought was that they would produce pet food. Yeah, so these galactic grills, they're about to get pretty useful, is what I'll say, especially now that we have pets coming out. So it's almost their time to shine. People want their PvP, give them their PvP. You know what? You're not wrong. People ask for this all the time. And this is partly why we do the AMAs. It's like, okay, people are asking for stuff, we probably should be building it. So again, this is interesting validation. And like, yeah, we're trying to figure out where we sit in the market with this particular feature. If it's us that should be building it, should be working with other teams and like finding interesting cross play or like interesting interoperability. There is some interesting stuff to think about there. Yeah, I'm still waiting for the day that we have a tractor mount also. Um, yeah, so with
Wait, what?
interoperability, can we easily get mounts one day? You know what a mount is, right?
No.
Oh yeah,
Should I?
that was like a World of Warcraft thing, which
Oh,
not a
okay.
thing. But it's basically something that you can ride, like a
I
like
understand. Like
yeah
on a horse kind of thing.
yeah yeah.
I played WoW a few times in university, but I don't remember it at
Oh
all.
really?
Yeah, I don't remember any of it. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can get an extra line. So VIP gives you an extra line, and owning land gives you an extra line. So,
Yeah, this suggestion is even like a separate one just for equipment. So like the
oh, I
shoes, the
see.
glow sticks, yeah, that is interesting. That's one thing that we've been trying to figure out too. Like if we have combat, obviously we need something like that. Um, Combat's not as fun if you don't have armor or weapons.
This land is really cool.
Hi, I'm new to the game. When business will come for owners to build hotels on their land and people to come book a visit to a room with Barry and just stay over the regen energy. It's kind of fun. One thing that we thought about was like a portable hot tub that you could buy or something like that. But yeah, there's interesting stuff like that too. So yeah, I think about that a lot. Like, what are interesting game mechanics that can lean way more into the social? Because what's interesting is like Pixels, we're a game, but honestly, I think we're really Web3 social. Like that's what we really are. We're a Web3 social platform at the end of the day, with game mechanics that help retention. And I think that's the more unique stuff that we're trying to figure out and like trying to look into a bit more. So that's why I'm like really, really looking into friend tech lately. That's been the most interesting new Web3 social um, thing I've seen in a while. And it obviously is having some success. And it's just like the reason I'm so interested in it is because it's really leaning into some of the things that make Web3 interesting. When it comes to ownership, when it comes to like importing other social graphs. And what's interesting is Pixels is kind of forming its own social graph around land and around other things too. So there's some stuff that we can figure out with that one for sure.
All right. Party has started. There's so many people on the land. There's a portal right in the theater and in Terravilla Central that you can use to get there directly. Yeah. Mm.
Abe Stacken just told me I looked at RuneScape for inspiration. Abe Stacken, do you know how many hours I spent in the fishing guild during my childhood? I have probably played like RuneScape for like 2 to 3,000 hours, bare minimum. Probably honestly more, maybe like 5K hours total on RuneScape as I was growing up. Yeah, the largest it's obviously the largest inspiration for like most of what we do. But the things I'm taking away from RuneScape are a lot around economy. So, for example, like one of the interesting things we recently introduced was there's a marketplace tax where it's like a 2% marketplace fee in our in-game marketplace, and we took that from RuneScape because they actually did that to fight inflation. RuneScape Gold, and it's like a bunch of stuff like that. Like we added withdrawal fees and things like that as well too, just to kind of fight like berry inflation as well. Like we take a lot from RuneScape. It's just like what are the areas that we want to focus on? Like that's the kind of stuff that you also have to think. But yeah, ape stack and don't diss my knowledge. I was 126 combat.
Oh my goodness. Um, yeah, someone was talking about a little bit of lag. There has been a bit of lag today. We've been talking about it internally about like what's going on with that. So if you've noticed it, I feel you. I've noticed it too. We're looking at it.
All right, what's the land number again?
2499. There's a portal, so you can just go through that. It's easiest.
Ooh, a 4 apiary land.
Oh yeah. It's Vanquish's land, which if you know their reputation, they've got all the good stuff.
Sauna portal.
Yeah, sauna portal. I am rich sign, content queen statue.
These were going for like 250 each at one point.
Yeah.
I think they're
And
still
then
doing well.
if you go up to the top, that's where the energy party is. And you can see they've like outlined it with tons of greenery and all this stuff. It looks good. It looks really good.
Whoa. Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, it's a cool land.
335 players. Jeez.
Yeah, the new norm. I love it. It's so much fun. Oh my gosh, I've set a terrible standard that people think that they see me or one of the community team members and we're just gonna give them wine or like
Okay.
give them berry. Like guys, you can't just expect it. You can just ask. Like I love
First
to
of
help
all,
new players, but relax.
you should
Okay.
be giving me loaves. There is actually a tax in the game. Whenever you see me, you have to trade me loaves.
How many do you have in storage? Like, do you just have it? Oh my gosh.
It's my inventory. Okay, yeah, I do have room. All right.
Stop. No one give him anything.
I'll do. Perfect.
Okay, someone on Discord actually asked a good
Mhm.
question. Are we going to be building on lands or have access to a blank realm?
Yeah, the realms will be a blank area. And they'll be separate from the other game loop too. So when we first release realms, there'll be no inventory, no economy in these realms. We want to keep it simple at first, and then add some complexity as we go on. The biggest question mark with realms is How players are able to create in-game economy. I mean, we see it in games like Roblox, where they do it all right. Is Gabby expecting me to give him loafs? That's not how this
Yeah.
works.
Yes. Can I have my wine back? It was a joke.
Like you asked that.
Yeah. No, on YouTube. Sophia is a part of our community team, so she's equipped with a few extra bottles of wine to give to new players in need. And now you guys just think you
It's a
deserve them
tax.
when you see us. Set a horrible standard. Did
Uh,
Luke find out about the double crash on Sunday? Oh yeah,
oh,
we were all there. We all saw it happen, and that's why we updated how energy functions. But yeah, shout out to Rohan, if I'm pronouncing that right. I really hope so. He's been so awesome to work with. We threw a big event with him on Sunday, and it was really, really fun. So thank you.
these people have it. Thank you. Somebody finally understood the assignment. They gave me loaves.
Oh no. Thank you guys. Yeah, it's funny. My partner is from Spain, so I was like, "Is it Rohan?" And he's like, "No, it's Rohan." I was like, "Stop! Like I'm saying the same thing as you." So trying.
Oh my gosh. Just
I was
trade
picking
Sophia,
these
guys.
realms to build out some kind of dungeon on our farm people can complete. Maybe even teamwork or together with pets to obtain some resource. Do you see stuff like that? I don't know, maybe cool.
Yeah, that is interesting. So there's two elements of this, right? Like I see realms more like creative mode in Minecraft, right?
Yeah,
Where
I only go on Minecraft creative mode.
exactly.
I don't want zombies chasing me.
And then the Pixels game loop being more like survival or like the hardcore stuff where you have to like work it for it. But like the stuff that you get in Pixels means a bit more than obviously.
Yeah, it's really funny. And that's going back to like different style of player and gameplay, right? Like the first time I wasn't in creative mode by accident on Minecraft, I hated it so much. Or like Stardew Valley, I always play safe, you know? And then the first time I was in the mine and I lost all my health, and then I woke up and they took everything from me. I closed the game. I actually haven't played it since. That was like 3 weeks ago, and I was so mad. I was like, I don't want to play this. Like I worked so hard for that. Like shut the screen, you know? So it's just totally different types of players. Okay, hold on. There was a question here. A fix was made recently to expand server capacity on lands for parties, which is awesome. Would additional infrastructure investments need to be made to prepare for pixels for the next 100K to 100,000K users? Okay, so I do want to address something. Server capacity was not expanded. What we did was we worked on efficiency so that there was less server capacity required for energy to be given out to 300 and something players, right? Because don't forget, it's not about just players coming to the game. It's also that they're getting energy actively. So it's that interaction and that bandwidth and all of that, right? The capacity basically. So capacity hasn't changed. Efficiency was increased.
Yes,
Now
I mean that's
we
part of
can
it.
talk about the rest.
Yes, that's part of it. So like one is just like getting more efficient code out.
Yeah,
That helps them. Like there's a lot of optimizations that we can
exactly.
do. Like in our previous version of the product in Mesh, we did, if you want to get really technical, we did like server side authority and like we did server side physics. We had like 500 current users in these spaces, and we actually don't do server side physics on this. So there's like probably a good amount of room to get like 1,000 to 2,000 concurrent if we optimize even further in a particular room. But then there's always limits on this kind of stuff. The people who are building out virtual spaces that don't have limits in terms of concurrency in the same virtual space, there's two companies doing it, and they're both the ones that have been working with Yuga. It's Improbable, and sorry, I can't remember the name of the other one. It might be like R2, I think is the other company that now Yuga's working with. Something with Yuga has not worked out apparently in Improbable, and they're moving to a different person. But yeah, that's the kind of company working on that kind of stuff. So that isn't actually a problem that we're interested in solving anymore. That was something I was previously interested in when we were building out Mesh. Basically, there's very interesting stuff that you can do, and it's a very hard technical problem. But what games like Fortnite do is there's basically like, they had a Travis Scott concert, right? There was a million people watching it at the same time, but there weren't a million people in the same room actually watching it at the same time. So there's hacks that you can do basically that make the game feel still alive and populated, but handle concurrency in different ways. So yeah, that's kind of the focus essentially. We'll probably focus more on the Fortnite implementation rather than trying to develop that extremely hard tech that actually probably doesn't have crazy value add compared to some other stuff. But yeah, here this is funny too because the interesting thing to think about is Pixels were a 2D game right now. What I like to think that we're building out is more along the lines of metaverse infrastructure. And I know that's an annoying thing to say, metaverse infrastructure. But actually, what I'm less interested in building out lately is like there's game stuff that we need to build out. There's virtual space tech that we need to build out, but we're building it out because there's nothing else to use right now. So we have to be building out our own game and technology and like all this virtual spaces tech. But some of the core tech that we're actually building out too is this other infrastructure to support all of this like metaverse stuff coming together. And that's the incentive structures, the token structures, the distribution methods, the actual like governance behind it, like how we do community, like all of these things are core tech that we're building that are equally as important than just that technical infrastructure of getting more people in one space at the same time.
All right.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, really good AMA today, guys, and
Yeah, it's been
tons of
awesome.
people.
Wait, this is a crazy idea, and I love it. Can bulk rewards be a thing in the future? Like somebody giving out butterbeer brew to everyone in the room with only one click. That just like sounds like a server problem, but I also love it. So maybe it's a cool
You're
idea.
gonna get a different answer from Heidi versus an engineer on that one.
Exactly. um, that's a good idea. Yeah, I was just about to pull that up. Can you tell us
Yeah.
more about what Animoca Brands means for Pixels?
Yeah, I would say that Animoca is by far our most strategic and helpful investor that we currently have on the cap table. Um, yeah, I'm so glad that we're in their portfolio, and I'm so happy that we get to be a part of what they're up to. So, yeah, Animoca has just been very helpful in terms of getting ready for the token launch, in terms of like all that other back end support. They're the right investors. They're literally the best Web3 investor. I have nothing else to say other than they're the best Web3 investor. Yeah, and we're very lucky to have them. Okay, one thing I want to do today is I want to tweet about all these events that we had. And when we make that tweet, I want all of you guys to comment some of your photos from this event. Like maybe we should do one last merch giveaway, Heidi. Highlighting.
I actually have one more code that I can give away. So the merch store closes tonight. So I can make it work. If you want to give away another merch code and like a tweet or something like that, let's
Amazing.
do it.
Yeah, what I think we should do is we should make a tweet thread about all these events that we've had. The fact that wait, let's get 400 people in here first.
Yeah.
Can someone we need 5 more
Five
people.
more. 5 more people. Come on.
Okay, we're gonna get to 500.
Yeah.
Or 400, sorry.
500. Yeah.
Yeah, new goal, 500.
All right.
Um,
We're at 3. Oh, we're so close. We're so close.
and then yeah, take some photos of this, guys. Because I think we'll do a giveaway later today of photos from this event. So take some photos, and if you guys respond with photos, you'll likely be able to earn something. If you guys have any photos of any of the events from the last week, I think that's how we'll do the giveaway. Respond with a photo of some of these events. Let's show some people in the space like what Pixels is about, because no other game is having this many people in the game every single day at the same time right now in Web3. This is something that's pretty special.
We're two people, one person. Oh my gosh.
400. That's
There
insane.
we go. I got 401. I have a picture of 401. I'll just throw it on Discord. That's awesome. That's amazing. 403. Oh my gosh, it's increasing.
420. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, this is super special. So this is very exciting. Fun AMA today, everybody. Yeah, we do these every week. So keep showing up, and the game will keep getting better and better every week too, which is fun.
Totally. Oh, and someone asked, how do you open, oh my gosh, 408, how do you open the screen that shows how many people are playing? So it changed, it moved. So just open the chat in the corner, and then click on the like tiny little person emoji icon thing, and it's there. Oh my gosh, it just keeps increasing. I feel like I need to keep taking pictures.
Oh, the server's not liking this though.
Probably not. Also, a little hack. I'm taking pictures without the HUD in it. So if you open up the control thing, how do you do it? It's like Option Command I. Maybe I shouldn't tell them how to do this.
Option Command I.
It's just for good content. I take it. Use it for good content. Anyways, cool. This is amazing. Thank you all for coming out.
Wait,
and
how
yeah.
do you do that? No, no.
Command Option I.
Wait, inspect elements.
Yeah, and then the little like arrow thing, and then you click on the quest chunk there, and then delete it.
Oh, you literally do this?
Yeah, I do this when I create content. Then I don't want the HUD in the picture because I need like space. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Don't delete game container. I think it would be this one. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So then I can take really good pictures.
Oh, shoot. I should have left it open.
Oh, well, now you have to refresh and redo it all. But anyways, this is awesome. Yeah, thank you all so much. Anything else, Luke?
No, I think that's it.
Awesome. All right, stay tuned for the tweet. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Last day to order merch. Go order your merch. Bye, guys.